everyone. My name is Brenda Hilda Nkurunziza and I proudly serve as the Guild Prime Minister. Well, we are here to present to you the Students Guild Podcast where we bring dialogues and news, entertainment and make sure our students are in touch with their leaders. They're given different platforms to express themselves, and this is going to be on our different social media handles: YouTube, IG, TikTok and X. So you can feel free to follow and subscribe to our different channels. We are going to be having podcasts just like I've said, and this is going to be our very first episode. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the leadership experience of the leaders at King Caesar University, and I am glad to be joined by two gentlemen who I'm going to introduce later. But before we go further, I would like to extend a vote of thanks to our guild president, His Excellency Adonia Ainebiona, for supporting this initiative for the students podcast, and more importantly to our university management, our Vice Chancellor Dr. Basaza Mudenga, and also our very own Chancellor, His Majesty King Caesar Mudenga, for giving us an opportunity to be in this institution, King Caesar University, which is a very great one. To everyone who is out there, you can check out our website to know the different courses, because this is one of the universities that you would want to be the next journey of yours in the academic journey. So I would call up to everyone who is out there to go on our different university websites, check on different courses that you can pursue to make sure or be part of this university of ours. Just like I had said, we are going to dive into the topic of students' experience at King Caesar University, and I am very happily joined by two gentlemen. One is Honorable Alex Hadeda, who was the Speaker of the 5th Guild House, and Honorable Asingwide Davis, who is the representative of freshers in the 7th House and serves as the Minister of Academic Affairs in the same cabinet. All right, so we are going to have introduction from our guests, and then we can proceed with our conversation. I'll start with you, Honorable Alex Hadeda. You can give us an introduction about yourself. What positions have you had so far in our university, and more important, which course did you do? Because I'm sure our audience would want to know which courses do our visitors today on our first show pursue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hilda, for inviting me to the podcast today. And our viewers from wherever you are, greetings. Like I had been earlier introduced, my name is Alex. I'm a lawyer by profession, courtesy of King Caesar University. And while I was still at school, I served in different capacities. Like he said, I was blessed to have served in the capacity of a guild speaker in the 5th government. And I am very well pleased to be here today and looking forward to engaging the conversation that I have no doubts is going to be a very educational. Over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Alex. Now we can move to Honorable Davis Asingwide.
Thank you so much, our host for today. Our viewers, we appreciate. I'm Davis Asingwide, and I'm the current Guild Academic Minister of the 7th Guild Government. In her introduction, she said that I'm a Minister of Students Affairs. That's actually not, but I am the Students Guild Academic Minister. And I do medicine. I'm in my year 2. I hold so many other leadership positions in this university, whereby I hold a position in the Rotary Club of King Caesar University. And
all right, thank you very much, Honorable Davis. I apologize on that note for giving one saying you're the Minister of Students Affairs, but he's the Minister of Academic Affairs in our current guild. Yeah, so now straight to the discussion. So I would like to ask our visitors what was, because I've been in this university for around 4 years now, and I've seen, especially you, right, Honorable Alex, You served in very various positions. I remember the result we served together. You were a legal advisor in a certain association, which was the Bafundeda Association. So, what are some of the key challenges you faced in your leadership experience, and how, if you are told to describe the leadership experience you've had in KCU, would you describe it in one word or one sentence?
Well, thank you, Dr. Hilda. And reflecting back, as I was a student leader while at university, it goes back to one word: growth. It was always about growth. As a student leader, you aren't really there that you know what exactly you're supposed to do. But as we started taking over these positions, you get to the position and actually you're required to learn what is it that is required of me to actually perform the duties in a particular position. That goes to actually learning how to document documents. It goes back to learning to negotiate with, let's say, the administration, the students, and something like that. Now, majority of the challenges that are faced in leadership capacities is generally one or two, but I'll talk about one today, which is in regards to, majority call it the opposition. So as when you're a leader in the university, a student leader, you're strictly supposed to represent the interests of students. Now, when you're serving the interests of students, you do not have to bar the interests of the administration. So you're in between the interests of the students and the interests of the administration. Now, obviously, majority of the times you will have what students want. When you get into the offices, the administration wants this. Now, when these two bodies that you're supposed to be negotiating or connecting do not get intertwined, that's where you get to have a force that is appearing as though it is an opposition. So you will get other fellow students either abusing you or attacking you or harassing you in WhatsApp groups, and that's one challenge that is really serious, and it goes back to how exactly do you handle those critics saying, well, we wanted this, but see, you did not represent us in this capacity and something like that. So to me, that was a challenge where students paint you as the bad guy because you did not fully, in their position, represent their interests, yet actually the school or the administration already has guidelines that are supposed to move. So when you do not deliver to the expectations of the students, you become the bad guy as opposed to actually what's supposed to be done vis-a-vis the administration.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Alex. But I have one more question for you. When you have a situation and the students are going to benefit from whatever decision you're going to make, and the management of the university is not willing to concur with your perspective or going ahead with a decision that students have, and you're in a conflict. Maybe you think, maybe if you go in line, like you're on the same side with the students, you might be suspended from school because you saw an incident where one of the guild presidents, I think it was Chambogo, was suspended because of a certain incident involving in a strike, something like that. So for your case here in an institution like here, what would you do in such a position? Would you vow to stand with the administration or be on the side of the students' body?
Thank you, Doctor. First things first, it is true there will be conflicting loyalties, and they are aware. Now, as a student leader, like I've just said, whereas you're supposed to represent the interests of the students, there is the administration as well.
All right, now we are going to have Honorable Davis, just like you've heard from Honorable Alex, him giving us his experience and answering the different questions that we had. So we are going to have Honorable Davis. Honorable Davis, my question to you is, what leadership experience have you had in King Caesar University, and how can you describe the experience you've had? I believe you've been here for 2 years so far. I hope I'm right.
True.
Yeah, so you're going to describe your leadership in one word and give us your experience, which different responsibilities you've had so far when you've come to this university.
Thank you so much, our host for today. Once again, I'm Davis Asingwide, and sharing an experience. I'd say it's been a great journey right away from the day you reach at campus, and then this notion of leadership comes into your mind in a way that it starts with you reaching out to students for the mandates, and then at the end of the day you are voted into this leadership position where you now have two roles of being a student and at the same time bringing out students' ideas in that leadership position they've given you. Personally, in the first place, I was elected as a chief fresher of the year 2024-2025, and describing the experience I've had, I would say it's not been easy, whereby I have to sometimes encounter the overwhelming circumstances whereby I have to be in class when at times I have to go for these meetings. So it's been a sacrifice that has taught me so many lessons, including communication, including skills like leading under pressure, which has not been easy. And these skills that I've learned they may not be written in the books, but I'll tell you that I've had that experience from the experience that I've been in this leadership position.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Davis. Back to you again. You've been a leader, and I'm sure very many students look up to you, especially the ones you represent in the house. The academic clubs stand under your docket in your ministry, class representatives. And my question is, our motto is Ignite the Future here at KCU University. And as a student leader, how do you want to make sure in your capacity our motto, our vision, and what our university stands for comes to a reality in your position and the people that you lead?
Great question. Working as a guild academic minister entails a lot, whereby you have to work with the administration and at the same time the students to make sure the academic welfare of the students is benefiting the students and at the same time not contradictive with the university policies, such a way that I have to work with class presidents, make sure whatever they need for their lectures is available, make sure that in each department, in each school, everything that they need is in order. For example, you find students are supposed to be having some lectures and the lecturer maybe is not there in time, so you find I'm in class and the student is calling me, so I have to respond. I have to be so flexible in such a way that I have to respond to their messages and make sure everything is in line. That is for the class presidents. When you come back to the different presidents of different schools, each school here at KCU University has its association and they have presidents. You find that they have different activities whereby I have to be there, the academic minister, to report at the end of the day which activities they have had. So working with them, having meetings with them, making sure that whatever they want is in place to support the activities that they are having, because at the end of the day, the activities are helping the students and the university benefiting from it. So I would say I've been so flexible with them and I sacrifice a lot for them to make sure that the academic welfare of the students is maintained.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable, for that answer. Yes, from his insights and the way he said, it's up to us to embrace growth and to make sure we learn the experience, because whatever experience we get, it stays with us. No matter what happens, it stays with us and it goes nowhere. So still back to Honorable Davis, when you are in your first year, you contested on being the representative of freshers, and we are having the contestants also coming up in this month to the office of our right honorable speaker. So what advice would you give to these people who are coming in? What should they expect? That also leads me to another question to you. What really motivated you? Were you looking up to money or any benefits you're going to get? Yeah, so answering that, and what would you advise these people that are going to take up probably your position because you have contestants, however much they have not been nominated, they have shown interest. So what advice would you give to such candidates?
I'll start with the question of motivation, whereby personally what motivates me is the passion to lead in such a way that when I'm in an environment, I have this instinct in I want everything to be in order and everyone to be happy. In such a way that when I reached here, I saw there was a lot that was going on with the leadership, and then I was like, I have to make something right. So what triggered me first of all was some of the things that were not going on right, what the students were complaining about, and then representing these new students that had not been well versed with the environment of the campus. So I had to make sure that I come in and put everything on point for the new students and the university students that have been here, what they've been complaining about. I make sure that it is in order.
Okay,
And then
can I interject before you proceed? I've heard you mentioning things that were not going right. Can you give us one example of that one thing that was not going right that you felt should be addressed by you in your time of election? Does it have to do with our own students, or maybe the leadership that was there, or maybe our management? I don't know. You could tell our viewers and other people what were some of the challenges that made you stand out for that position.
Great question. Unlike currently, the previous leaders have had issues of accountability, whereby students are coming up and raising questions of money being embezzled and eaten up by the leaders that are in the government. But since I joined, I've made sure I've advocated for accountability, and currently I would say we are doing well.
All right.
And then to advise the students that are coming up for different leadership positions in the government, that is for the chief fresher 2025-2026, I would say come for it, because for these leadership positions, I believe they are there to shape us and prepare us for the future. But all in all, you have to sacrifice, whereby you have to be in the meetings of what the students elected you for, and when lectures are actually going on, so you'll have to sacrifice. It's not easy. You have to it is psychologically torturing in such a way that you have so many people now coming in, your opponents, students are criticizing you, but at the end of the day you have to stand, sacrifice, and then be confident that at the end of the day you're going to make it.
All right, thank you very much. In his remarks, when he was answering the question I asked, he talked about something concerning mental health for the leaders, and I believe leaders, sometimes we look out for others, and at a certain point we forget ourselves, and that affects us mentally. And I believe for every leader who is out there understands and believes that this happens. We've seen some of the leaders breaking down because you feel like you're not supposed to show what you feel to the people that you're leading, because at times it can make the people you're leading even feel like, now our leader has this issue, our leader is not strong enough at this point. Who are we to keep moving on in this direction, or help him achieve whatever achievements that were meant to be achieved? It can be in a certain company that you're leading, it can be in the leadership of the university, or even other club, or even outside the university. So to every leader out there, and all to the mental health activists, leaders really need to be catered for in this. And to the leaders, we have to take care of ourselves and also embrace self-leadership. And I believe to every leader, self-leadership is important. Without self-leadership, you cannot be able to lead other people. So back to you, Honorable Davis. Do you feel you've ever made a certain mistake in any of your leadership experience you've had? Do you believe you've ever made one?
As leaders, I believe that we make mistakes, which we don't take as mistakes at times, but to some portion of the students you'll find they are taking it as a mistake in such a way that as a leader you might not make everyone happy, but at the end of the day you have to do the right thing in such a way that a portion of the students will at one time appreciate and be like, yeah, he did the right thing. So I would say I've made mistakes, but I make sure in whatever I'm doing, I've done the right thing that is making an impact. Not all, it's making an impact to all the students, but some may not appreciate it at this time. But I know that at one point they will stand and say, yeah, we did it for the benefit of the students' welfare.
All right, that was a very good one, Honorable Davis. And yeah, even if you make it and if it is a mistake, you have to pick a lesson from that and make sure it doesn't happen in the future. And to everyone out there, I myself, I believe there is no decision that is right or wrong. You just have to make sure whatever step you take, you have to make sure it becomes the right one. So you have to believe in yourselves if you want to take up a position, especially to these new students that are contesting, the chief fresher and the chief fresher. Just take up the position, no matter the outcomes. You've got the experience, you've picked a lesson, just go for it and believe in yourself.
Hi.
So my question to you is, how has the experience you got as a leader, a student leader at KCU University, helped you outside? Because I believe, and I would like to inform our viewers that he graduated last year. So you would tell us how the experience you got as a student leader is helping you outside life after school.
Thank you, Brenda. Experience with student leadership cuts across many spheres of life. To be specific, ranking through the positions I had held while still at university. For example, my very first position is one that is being held by my other colleague. I first held the position of the Vice President for the Rotary Club of KCU University. Now, what does a Vice President of any club make of an individual? You know, that's the first question that comes in one's mind. You do realize you get into yourself researching into actually the duties of a vice president in any organization. That look, you get to be on all committees, which committees are either supposed to report or document reports either weekly or monthly or quarterly. Now, for my case, it was weekly, and obviously I was doing it for the very first time. So this is what I learned. I get demands from the president to have the reports sent in through the various committees, the membership committees, the finance committee, the organizing committees. Now, that equally tasks me to actually delegate to these people. Now, I did realize that actually, whereas we are university students, the formalities of letter writing were still lacking. For example, even if nothing had been done in a week, it was very easy to write. You copy the correct addresses, you copy the correct references, and you're addressing from this date until this date, nothing has actually taken place. Yours so and so as someone. Now, you see that kind of formality, whereas we've gone to school and we acquire knowledge, the academic excellences, and the papers we get academically, these are small things that actually you do not get in the classroom. The last thing you get to learn is letter writing in senior 4 so that you pass. But actually, like when you move out, like myself, you do get to realize that actually you're going to respond to your bosses, you're going to respond to your peers. It could be on WhatsApp, but still there is a level of professionalism or formalism as for someone who has gone to university that you get to engage actually people in those dockets. So in that capacity, I actually got to learn that you can actually write a formal letter. Now, whereas that was just the beginning, it cuts across all the other positions I had held. In the capacity of the guild speaker, you had to write letters inviting members for meetings. Now, you had to go as formal as possible. What does that do for me as a lawyer? It is teaching you the practicability of actually playing details, the commas, the correct names and spellings of these students or the colleagues you're actually together with, which actually in the practical world, even a comma can make your case nullified on technicality. Now,
could you wrap it up? We are running out of
yes,
time.
what that makes out of me is that I immediately rank above anyone who did not go in for leadership. So you get to learn various things from
actually knowing how to talk to people, and it gets better every time you do it over and over and over. Now, what does that make you? A student. After all, you're in school now. This is more of a curricular, more of something extra that you get. Every opportunity, every challenge you face as a student leader, remember you're learning, it keeps making you perfect. Just like they say that practice makes you perfect.
All right. Thank you very much, honorables, for being part of the show. And to everyone out there from wherever you're watching from, thank you very much for being with us. I'm going to request each of our guests here to give a 1-minute remark, one word to the viewers and to every leader out there. Yeah, and we'll wrap up the show.
Thank you so much, our host for today. Our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. And on behalf of the students that I lead, I'd like to propose a vote of thanks to our host and my fellow colleague for tuning in for research. It's one of a kind here, so I believe it's going to yield a lot from it, and students are going to yield a lot from it. As we know that these leadership positions shape us for the future, I would advise any person who is coming up for any leadership position or who is holding any leadership position to always be eager to learn, especially from the so-called criticism. I personally call it positive criticism because it helps you improve. And at the end of the day, these leadership positions that we hold always prepare us for the future. So to everyone out there, come in case there is anything that is not always going on right. Chip in, do it for someone, so that at the end of the day everyone is happy, and in a society we are able to live as confident as anyone.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Davis. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Brenda. For me, it's very simple, really. Any student, one could argue that they are not into politics or governance, but the truth of the matter, politics gets to you from wherever you are. You will get to pay the guild fees, you'll get to worry about the missing marks and the delayed marks. Somehow it will get into you. So, one thing for sure, get any position you can get if you're able to, and you will thank me later, honestly. And one thing I would like to equally pass by is regards to the KCU Law Society, Law School, and the Law Faculty, and everyone watching, really. I wish you the very best. Whereas leadership comes from God, equally opportunities comes to those that are ready. So step out of the crowd, take up any responsibility you can take. Like I said, you will thank me later. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much everyone for watching. Thanks to our host for honoring our invites, and to everyone watching there. Yeah, and to the guild leadership, the 7th guild government under the agenda government headed by our president, His Excellency Adonia Ainebiona, and the rest of the cabinet, and most importantly the university management headed by our university chancellor, His Majesty King Caesar Augustus Molenga. Thank you everyone for watching. See you on the next show. Let's keep up the spirits.